What you know about that?
Okay, Unc.
They don't make them like that anymore.
Mm-mm. You know one song that gets me like
For
that?
the love for you.
You know what song that gets me like that? I heard through the
Mm.
grapevine.
Mm.
How much longer would
Marvin,
you be mine?
Marvin, Sam Cooke, all
I
them.
heard through the
It was
grapevine.
just a different era. Generations
Just
were.
about to lose my mind.
Honey,
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 honey.
hey.
Yeah.
Funny, I was in Seattle. There was a moment where a song came on, and Uncle Nee and both Uncle Nee and my dad are like, "Remember when this came out?" And they both were like, "Yeah."
What does that even mean?
They're like, my dad was like, "Yeah, I was in London," and Uncle Nee was like, "I remember when this song came out. I know exactly who this artist is. His name. When this record came out,
So emphatic
yeah,
in remembering something anecdotal.
they're basically talking about when Astro World dropped, but for them,
When Astro.
yeah.
Mm,
But anyway,
mm. Hey guys, first of all, look who's back.
I'm back.
Welcome to another episode of Bolaki Podcast. I'm Tolu, Real Madrid fan.
Nelson, Chelsea fan.
Club World Cup has been hot, figuratively and literally. Thoughts?
It's been really hot. First and foremost, I mean, my manager has complained about it openly, but
Mm-hmm.
it's hot for both teams, bro.
Yeah,
So,
Jude has complained about it.
um, yeah, and if anything, you were kind of seeing teams that are conditioned for
Mm-hmm.
this type of temperature kind of rise to the top,
Yep.
and like rise to the challenge. I'm actually happy that we've got a couple of South Americans in our on our roster
Yep.
because at least they're used to some of that,
Yeah.
whereas I don't think Kieran Dewsbury Hall has seen 30 degree or 28 degree,
What-
like
and
his.
he's playing soccer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
maybe
man's the toast on that man's beans on toast is crispy.
it's crisp,
He's
crunchy.
he's suffering. So
Yeah,
yeah, but it's a good, I think it's a good tournament. I think it's interesting to see how each team is sort of approaching it.
yeah.
Some are taking it like a like it's preseason, kind of preseason, a
Who?
mix and amalgamation. Well, my club kind of slipped. I think since the last time I was on the show, I think there's been three
3 games.
games. So
Yeah,
in one of those 3 games, we kind of tried something different.
yeah. Playing Reese in the middle.
Tried something different. What we tried like what we would have done in like a preseason match. Just
Yeah,
like, maybe something to chew on, see, just get some tape for the season, see if this works.
yeah,
It did not work, and as a result, this last game last night we had to take a little bit more seriously.
yeah,
We still rotated a squad, but everybody had to. We needed a result. We couldn't.
yeah.
It's not like we were going to lose that game. Touch wood, but we could not lose the game. So
I mean, I just find it. I'm just glad, first of all, that we do this because it's funny to look back at the last 2 episodes, 2 episodes ago, especially before the episode before the Club World Cup started, and all the things we're talking, all the subplots we're talking about, like Felipe Luis being the coach of Flamengo and playing against you guys, and
yeah,
all these little subplots. The way they're playing out is crazy. One, two. Last episode I was talking about. I did a mini "Where Are They Now"
mm,
segments because I'll be like, oh wait, Alex Telles plays for Botafogo. That's
yeah,
where you are. Oh wait, and
yeah.
the Herrera is in Boca Juniors. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of men who are I don't want to say retired, but have plied their trade in South America,
yeah,
and they're doing it quite well.
yeah,
Like it's not an easy league to
no,
succeed in.
no, it's not.
And it's it's interesting when you're like, oh yeah, I know you, and it's
Yeah,
not like they're chilling. They're
no,
back
they're
at
playing.
they're back at home, and they're playing in the cauldron that baptized them
Yep,
into the game.
yep.
Um,
But
Typically for pennies on the dollar.
yeah,
It's not for money. It's for the love of
passion. Yeah,
the love of the club. So
yeah, yeah. It's been fun. I mean, um, first of all, I don't know if you want to. You haven't been back since you watched Chelsea live.
Yeah, and, it's been interesting to watch the Club World Cup kind of mature like a wine.
Fine wine.
Pop it open at first. It's hasn't breathed yet,
Mm-hmm.
and I think every club got a 12 p.m. game, a 3 p.m. game, and a 9 p.m. game. Our 3 p.m. game happened to be on a Monday afternoon. I myself had to cut work. Don't tell my boss. I hope my company's not watching
I'll
this.
cut it out. I'll cut it out.
They are. But be that as it may, I had to cut out of work early just to make it on time. The tickets were affordable. I
Hmm.
got a good seat. But the atmosphere was kind of low. It reflected a Monday
In
afternoon
Atlanta,
in
yeah.
Atlanta. I've cut work before for like a Braves game, a baseball game in Atlanta in the middle of the day for like my birthday or whatever, and the attendance ain't great. So like I imagine, and the Braves are from Atlanta, so no,
Exactly.
Chelsea is a well, I don't want to use the line that Flamengo used against us, but Chelsea is just a part of London. It's a small city, a small part of London.
Small part of a country in a different
On an
continent.
island. So we're a big club, but 3 p.m. on a Monday, um,
That's pushing
in
it.
foreign waters, not so sure. So the atmosphere was kind of lame. I was happy as hell to be there. That's the first competitive match I've seen my club play.
Mm,
I've seen them play several times in the U.S. Because of the tours that they've done here,
hmm.
um, but never with a degree of seriousness that I saw them exhibit on Monday. Even still, they were still taking it as serious as they needed. They were
Yeah.
like, LAFC is not really that skilled. There's a degree of caution I think that was exhibited by the club or by the players in terms of not wanting to injure anybody
Yeah.
at that point. We're fresh off of Kukurea had played in the Nations League. Um, there's
Conference League final.
Conference League final. A lot of those guys had a lot of mileage on their tires, so
Yeah.
it was kind of like a look, guys, we're gonna
Come
play,
on.
but like, don't
Come on.
make us like we're gonna shift.
Don't
Yeah,
be a.
like let's not stress the engine.
Yes.
Let's gear two tops. Like we
Deal?
can, yeah, we can go
Deal.
to gear three if need be. But like I said, kind of a subdued fan atmosphere. A lot of blue there.
Hmm.
LAFC's crowd was quite loud and spirited,
Mm.
which was kind of shocking to me.
Shocking to me too.
Um, they sang the entire time. They played the drums like the entire time, like they were a South American club almost.
Mm,
It was kind of impressive.
mm.
But glad I went just because the next game that Chelsea played was against Flamengo. It was against
Felipe Luis
Felipe Luis and Jorginho.
and Danilo.
Danilo, a much more mature side, more hardened and just lot more experienced.
Yeah.
So
Organized.
we
Very good
we
team.
saw a club. That game was at noon, and it was I believe it was in. We played in Philadelphia yesterday. I want to say that game. Oh,
I'll find it. Go ahead.
but either way, it was high noon in America on the weekend. Um, they Chelsea played Flamengo, and it was not cold, y'all. Um, them boys was sweating. We were tired, and we played tired. Enzo tried a new system, new approach, um, new formation, players
Mhm,
playing in different spots.
mm,
And first and foremost, it was a cauldron, it was a scorcher. Um, and we got humbled. We got humbled handedly. The first half was not a good half for us. The second half was even worse than the first. And I think over the period of since there's 3 games for us to go over, I won't go too much into this one, but
mhm.
in that game specifically, um, they they were organized. Um, they came in with a plan to
Yep.
expose us at the back post. Um, Two of their goals were pictured I mean, copy paste,
Yeah, knocked
control
down.
control C, and then control
Control
V.
V.
Period. That worked. Let's try it again. Easy. So, and there's a very damning tape of this past season that kind of exposes Malo Gusto and Bob Sanchez at that back post. There's
Yeah.
a lot of ball watching, a lot of ball watching, a lot of punishment by prem teams who are just going to the tape and seeing that weakness. And credit to Felipe Luis for watching the tape, and
Homework.
credit to the team and the goal scorers who were impactful in Flamengo, who just carried out the manager's mission, and that was like a symbiotic. That's if anything, I'm glad I saw our team saw that because
Hmm.
that's a MFing team. Like
Yeah,
that's a
that's a
team.
honestly,
It's not an amalgamation of talent. That's a
it's a
team.
team, and you could say, I mean, I said it on, I think I said it 2 episodes ago. I said it again last episode. Those South Americans, those guys, they take this game very serious. I'll
It's
put it
not.
that way.
Yeah,
It's not a joke.
it's not about the quid or the
No,
p's or
they listen
the commas that are in the account at the end of the week. It's about the love of the game,
and
and
respect.
it's about the love of the badge.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of respect, as Tolu said,
yeah,
in how you approach the game. There's
yep.
no half stepping
Even their fans, bro. Like
to death. Like this is. I mean, they're. I mean, gosh knows how much it costs
for
to
them.
go from Flamengo, Brazil to Atlanta in this climate, this
Yep,
culture, and this climate, politically that is,
yep.
and then economically as well to boot.
Hmm.
And you're making that sort of
Oh yeah,
trip, and you're spirited, and you're not taking this like it's a. Oh, I wonder what this club.
yeah,
I bought. I'll tell them myself. I bought the ticket for the game. I was waiting for the tickets to go down, so I bought a
yeah,
ticket about an hour before.
yeah.
These lot bought the ticket.
You think they're playing with
Yeah,
you?
they bought the
You think
ticket.
this is a joke?
They
This
bought
is not
the
a joke to
Yeah, they bought
them.
the ticket from Infantino himself.
Yeah.
So they don't mess around, and
Yeah.
I think it's a like I said, it was a good gut check that game, and as embarrassing as it was, the worst thing to come from that game is obviously the Nico Jackson red card
Oh
after being
jeez.
subbed on 3 minutes afterwards. This is the second tournament that he has received.
Are you upset?
I'm pretty upset because I've been an advocate for
Yeah.
Nico. I've
Yeah.
always maintained that I think there's a player in there.
And there is.
Um, but there's a player in there, but there's not much going on up here,
Hmm.
and that's a big problem because you can't be impetuous like that and then also not be skillful. We had a player like that, but the way that he manifested his like temperament was masterful. It was the dark arts. I don't. Do I need to
Diego
say the name?
Costa.
I
Diego
don't even need to
Costa.
say the name. He's a boogeyman.
Diego Costa.
That's what you need to do.
Diego Costa.
You don't come on like that and get sent off within 3 minutes. If you're gonna engage in the dark arts, be crafty
Yeah.
about it. You really have to, really be crafty about it. And I mean, in this day and age, it's harder to do Diego Costa
Yeah.
things. You get caught in 4K
Yep.
like that. There was no delay in the issuing of that red card,
Yep.
and it was a very late and reckless
Yeah. I don't
challenge.
know. I don't.
It's something I would do.
I don't even know.
It's something
Like,
I would do, and it's
I don't
not good.
understand. I mean, I try to advocate for players in terms of, like, I mean, certain things. I don't play at. I've never played at a high level,
Right.
but like I've played enough to know, like, stuff happens. You make a silly mistake, or emotions get the best of you and stuff like that. Like, I just feel like it's very very difficult to explain that. Obviously, it's emotions get the best of them, but it's just very easy. It's very difficult to explain that. Like, the thought process. It's just,
Well,
I don't know.
just one of the things that I got a lot on my chest just because it's been, like I said, it's been 3 games since we've talked. But one of the things that I took home from the first match was the fire of competition that I saw lit in Nico's eyes.
Yes, in the first game.
Like I was like, oh shit,
Yes.
you know, this there's a way that you play when you're like, huh, my checks are cashing
Yeah.
anyway. Like,
First name on the
I
sheet.
got a contract, baby. Like I'm good. Like, well, I'm not really worried about where I'm at. There's a difference in how he approached the game in Atlanta.
Yeah.
There's a fire under him.
Clean touches, like his close control. I mean, you've
Crisp.
always called out like he's very good holding up the
Link,
play and
yeah,
linking up the
linking
play.
up with Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw all of that in the short. I think it was about 60 minutes. We
Hmm.
saw him play before the lap came on, and when he came off, he was you could see he was a little bit upset about it, but he was accepting in the sense that he was like, I gotta prove my worth here,
Hmm.
um, and I feel like that manifested in a
In
very
second,
negative way in
in
the
the next
second
game.
game
Yeah.
because he didn't start the game. He didn't start the game. So he came. I think he took that personally.
Yeah.
Um, he came on, and I've thought about it. I don't know if he like. Do you want to get transferred?
I
Are you
don't
trying
think
to
so.
force your way out? Are
No,
you
no,
upset?
I
Like,
don't think so.
if that's the case, then there's processes here that we
Yeah.
could do that are better. But to do that again, like I said, a month off
Newcastle.
of the Newcastle moment,
Yeah.
is very troubling. We're not going to see him for the next 2 matches for Chelsea,
One more match
or
now.
one more until the semifinal. I think it's
No,
the
quarters.
quarterfinals. Okay,
Yeah.
2 games. I don't really want to see him again. He hasn't. The thing about both of these things is, call it what you want, but some fans don't like it when a player will do something like this and then take to social media and apologize.
Mhm.
I kind of like that. I
Yeah.
need to hear you say my bad,
Yeah.
or sorry, or last one's on me, guys. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to get all into like
The
I
nitty
need to be
gritty.
a better man, or I
Yeah.
don't need to hear about you
You don't need
doing
to
the
go
therapy.
Marcus Rashford on
I
them.
don't hear all the therapy and all that. No, my bad. Back at it on Friday. Come on, you Blues. That's it. Like that's all I need. But for
Hmm.
you to do these terrible things on the pitch and then just be quiet, no say no word, nothing like that, and then pop back up in a different competition. Nah.
Accountability.
Nah. I need you to take accountability,
Yeah.
and we've seen none of that from Nico. So he's about to. I mean, about to watch what happens. Chelsea's fan base is can be very
Unforgiving.
tempestuous. It'll flip, yeah, unforgiving, or we can flip on a dime. Is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say. And
Look who you're talking
yeah,
to, Real
yeah,
Madrid.
yeah. He's definitely in the jackpot or in the shitter right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, he is.
So yeah, that was that game, and we'll go into the last game. I'm
Yeah.
happy to go into it right now. Just say the word. Let's finish it right now.
Yeah,
But
we ended the last game. I think
uh,
I wanted to give a quick recap of you went to the your first ever
mhm,
competitive Chelsea game.
mhm.
I went to my first competitive any kind of Real Madrid game because I don't usually go to the preseason games because I'm not trying to go there and see Vinny for 25 minutes. So yeah, you know what I mean. I want to see a competitive game. So
I like those. I mean, call it what you want. These
I,
games, depending on if your club invests in youth talent,
yeah,
those games can be fun or not.
yeah. I mean,
If
yeah.
you have and a, I mean, was Endrick playing in these
No,
kind of
no.
games?
Endrick is home. He's injured,
Oh,
I
okay.
believe.
So, but like in years past, for example, like
Yeah.
those are the types of players that you
You
go to
see,
preseason.
to be fair, that's why I watched a lot of Odegaard when he came.
Hmm.
I didn't watch him live, but just on TV. Like,
That's
but
what I'm saying. Those are the types of guys that you want to see their cameos.
yeah, and
But yeah,
I remember like when Rodrigo first came, he
yeah,
scored the free kick against Bayern. I remember like so, but those games I'll just watch on TV and
yeah.
be
You don't need
fine.
to really, yeah.
Yeah, I watch on TV and be fine. But being there live was a dream come true for me. Like it was incredible. Like going in there, I went with B, and both of us were in there, and man, like she could see, like I was like a kid again, almost,
Mm-hmm.
and she could see it in my eyes. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no Sean Combs. I teared up a little bit while I was sitting down in the seat. Like, just like I took a moment.
Yeah,
I was
me
like,
too.
I took a breath, deep in and deep out,
Oh
and I
man,
was like
this is happening.
this could be like this is if this is down the road, I would probably spend a good bit of my
Mm-hmm.
my paycheck
Mm-hmm.
just on the club because football is a communal thing, man.
Yeah.
And it evokes emotion like no other real sport. I
Listen,
follow quite a few sports,
listen.
but
I'm telling you
how many
that
people were at the game?
70,000,
Yeah, so that's crazy.
70,000
My
people.
game 22,000 in 100,000 stadium.
It's
So you
crazy.
felt the emptiness. 70,000 is beautiful.
70,000.
That's a beautiful thing. What was that
Sunny
Saturday? Sunday.
Sunday. Sunny Sunday in Charlotte. 70,000 in the Bank of America Stadium. 69,000 of them were. And actually,
Legit.
there are a decent amount of Pachuca fans in there, but I mean, I tried to get there early. I got there like 45 minutes before kickoff, so I watched warm ups
Oh
and
wow.
stuff. Um, like when they're coming out of the tunnel and they're lining up, like seeing them right. I don't know how to explain it. Just seeing them right there was just like this is ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
this is actually happening. That's Vinny right there. That's Jude right there. That's Modric right there.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see Dino. Okay, listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
When I was watching those games, the things that stood out. First of all, Raul Asensio. Speaking of Nico Jackson, you owe me an apology, bro. Like you
Mm.
all like I'm like 8 minutes in to my first ever competitive Real Madrid game. You go and do that. I have a photo of when they do the lineups and they take the group photos. Then some people will come and drink some water and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Then some people just do final stretches. I will have a photo of him. I didn't take it on purpose, but he was in the shot. And the way he was stretching, I should have known this guy's up. He's out to do something crazy.
Mischief.
He's up to some mischief. But um, the things that was crazy to see live is Dino. Like he won pretty much every aerial duel. He's very good on the ball. Like his passing. I remember. I guess the last episode that I hear that was before. That was just after the Nations League final,
Mm.
and I did the like analysis on how he was just line breaking, passing into the midfield and over the top to Nico. He was doing that into the midfield and over the top to Vinny.
Mm.
And man, listen, he was class. Him and Chouameni. I'm telling you, like every time Chouameni moves to center back, I just feel so sorry for him because I'm like, this guy
Yeah.
is so good
On the ball,
on the
pushing it.
ball.
Yeah.
He's so good.
See these games, man. Another aspect of it that I love to see is these games really matter. When
They
you sign a
do.
player August and they don't get a preseason,
Yeah.
the difference it has on that player's trajectory in
Yeah.
that subsequent season, their feeling of being blooded into the
Mm-hmm.
team, rested or
Mm-hmm. Embedded in the
embedded is that's the
team.
word.
Yeah.
um, you look at Moises Caicedo. I don't mean to make it
Yeah.
about me, but like Moises Caicedo's first year, that transfer was in August. We beat Liverpool to we beat Liverpool to the signature. I just want to point out they offered a little bit more, but
But he
he
chose
chose
Chelsea,
Chelsea.
and he
But
did the
mhm,
with his mom.
Phoenix. Anyway, so like that first season, no
I
preseason at
remember
all.
his debut, man.
His debut was
West Ham.
cataclysmic. I
I
can't
think it was
remember.
West Ham away.
Uh,
I
maybe.
think.
Yeah. We might have lost that game.
Yeah, he lost the
Yeah,
game,
we lost
and
that
he
game.
he gave away a goal and a pen. I think.
Yeah. I remember the pen, and I remember the challenge because those challenges have become. It was just poorly timed,
Yeah.
and everybody gave us the big one and
Yeah.
made fun of us. But I saw that. I just know when you have a player like a defensive midfielder like that who we expect to win the ball, like that, your timing's got to be immaculate. And with no preseason, you're not going to have that timing, that polish.
Yeah.
So it's just again, I don't want to make it about me, but the difference in one season without that
Mm-hmm.
versus the season with that,
Full
I mean,
season.
you're talking a different gravy completely, and that's why we watch these games to see the quality and see what works, what doesn't work,
Yeah,
and see those new players that we're excited about who we've watched highlight reels in other jerseys actually start to produce for
for
our
your team.
clubs.
Yeah,
So
I
very
mean,
cool, very
very
cool.
very cool. So seeing Dino was cool. Tramani really impressed me. Jude is massive, bro. Like
Mm.
compared to everyone, he's massive and he plays like he is massive. Like he's very strong on the ball. Like he drives the ball very well. Uh, Fede is everywhere. Like I can go line by line. Trent had a better game. I mean, it's against lesser opposition, but he had a stronger game defensively. I was worried for him against Al Hilal. He had good interceptions in both games, but Al Hilal, his men were running off of him, and I'm like, maybe it's because, like, obviously I mean, he has some flaws in defending, but also he hasn't played a stretch of 90 minutes in a minute, and
Mm.
he's having to play 60, 70 minutes in heat.
You talking about Jude?
No, I mean Trent.
Oh, Trent.
Yeah, but he had a better game, and the fact that we played like that with 10 men for 81 minutes of the game was very impressive. The combination play was very good. They're very patient, very like nobody was on the ball too long. Even Vinny, like only a few times where he would be isolated and he would try something, but everybody was just sharing the ball. The goals were beautiful, beautifully worked. Even Frank Garcia had a great game.
Mm.
So like it was just cool to see live, cool to see Luca live, how calm he is on the ball. Like it was just a great experience. Like I mean, so experience I'll never ever 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 forget,
That's awesome.
ever forget, like ever forget. Unfortunately, I didn't see Mbappe because he's still ill. I think he's back in training
Mbappe,
now.
Mbappe, Mbappe.
But last thing I'm gonna say is about the things I noticed live. Vinny's change of direction
Mm.
live, like change of pace. You know that like you slow then take off.
Yeah,
Seeing that thing live is like
it's yeah. He's a formidable.
it's
He's a
crazy.
force. Things I noticed about that game. Goulet.
Oh my God, Goulet,
Um,
Goulet. How could I forget
I
Goulet?
mean, he started over.
Yeah, over
Yeah,
Rodrigo. But
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo has injuries. Lastly, Gonzalo up top.
Mm.
I know that he took him off in halftime just because we're 2-0 up and
Repetition. Yeah.
you know there was like I'm 2-0 up and a man down. But 2 games now, that boy. I mean, 2 games in this tournament,
Mm.
he played and scored a last minute winner, I believe, towards the end of the season. I forget who it was away. I feel like it was Getafe or one of the teams, but it was
Mm.
away. But he looks like he might need Hendrick's shirt like, as
Mm.
the second striker. But yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, I mean, honestly, that's what I was gonna say, right? I mean, you said Rodriguez got a couple of knocks, but Arda Güler took his, the cameo that he
Yeah,
had and ran with it.
yeah,
Amazing moment,
yeah,
impressive moment. You mentioned Trent, which is, you know, it's the kind of thing that you want to get
yeah,
when you move to a new club. You kind of
hmm
make an impression early on.
yeah. I mean, he was Trent. I'd never seen. Let me say never, but Trent was he had one part in the second half where he beat somebody with skill. He gave the ball away after, but
Mm.
I'm like, I think he shocked himself, like, oh, I can dribble now. But again, I just think with time, I don't want to also I didn't overreact. With Al Hilal. We didn't look really good against Al Hilal. We looked really good against Pachuca, which is I would say not as good as Al Hilal based on what I watched, but we played them with 10 men, so I don't
Yeah,
know. It's just
it's good. It's a good iron
yeah,
sharpening session
very
this
very
time.
good.
Um,
And I think that again,
yeah, there's a lot of rival
just keep
fans
watching.
who going into the tournament like, ooh, like
Yeah,
they
is
didn't get
that who?
invited. Yeah, they didn't get
Yeah,
invited to the tournament. They're like, ugh, I wouldn't want to be involved anyway because
yeah,
look at the schedule of that. I mean, like
yeah,
I'd rather have a preseason. Yes, okay,
yeah.
yeah, you're playing a lot less intense preseason. Your players are on vacation,
Hmm.
et cetera, et cetera. My club's got work to do, y'all. Like, and the best way to cut your teeth is to do that in a pressure cauldron like this. My goal, my only main priority, and my main concern is rotating the squad effectively so that nobody occurs injuries.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest worry about this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
One could argue because I remember I was there when Pochettino started, and we looked
For Chelsea.
Pochettino started at Chelsea. We looked very good in preseason. In the last game of preseason at Soldier Field in Chicago, Christopher Nkunku um,
Hurt
hurt
himself.
himself.
I remember. I watched that game.
Mm-hmm. He hurt
I
himself,
watched that game.
and he was like talismanic for us the entire
Yes.
preseason.
Yes.
Nothing was the same as Drake said.
Yes. I remember that game.
Nothing was ever the
That
same.
pitch was horrible. I
It was
remember that
terrible.
game.
We complained about it before,
I remember that game.
after, and during. And I've seen us incur injuries while on duty or while playing games in the U.S. Armando Broja is another player who we played a game in support of Israel, I think. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was a deal that Roman Abramovich had made with Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, who played the New England Revolution. And Armando Broja played during that game, and he destroyed his knee. He's not been the same player since that anterior cruciate ligament injury that he in a nothing game.
In a nothing game.
That was the first time he did his ACL. The second time he did it, I mean, so anyway. Biggest concern in these types of like half energy tournaments in the middle of the summer
on a grass that's laid on top of turf.
Yeah, and that's my biggest thing is being from the States. All these fields are either going to be hot as shit and outside, or they're going to be turf indoor.
Yeah,
I watched when I watched the Atlanta game, and
when you say the Atlanta game,
the game in Atlanta rather.
Yeah,
Chelsea got LAFC.
LAFC, yeah.
Enzo Fernandez scored, and then he did a knee slide.
Oh my God!
I was like, lad, I play on turf. There ain't no water there. Please don't do that again. I don't.
Somebody did that recently.
Like, do not do that.
And I'm like, don't. And we'll get into this. The Inter Miami. I forget how to say his name.
Knee slide on turf.
Jesus Christ. I forget how to say his name. Allende, I think he did the knee slide. I'm like, dude, no.
You're not home.
Please.
We don't water this.
Yeah, don't do that.
There's no halftime.
There was in
okay. Thank God.
Yeah, there was. They do water it, but it's just not good. Yeah. I mean, players have been complaining about the ball not bouncing. It's just trash. Anyway,
but like I said, main thing is, but iron sharpens iron. This tournament, I feel like, is more so. It's like, I don't want to speak too soon, but the amount of South Americans that we have on our roster, the amount of young, hungry players we need to see something from and implement into our squad. I'm happy to be involved. I think it's everybody came in with the money hungry grubbing. What is this? Like, thank God my club's not involved. And now we've seen some pretty quality games.
Yeah. And long may it continue.
Amen.
Quick transfers before we go to deep dive, IQ deep dive.
I've been locked out of. I mean, you're about to Fabrizio me, man. I haven't really been keeping tabs. Last thing I saw was Nani. It might be on the outs, but I'm sure there's. Let me hear. What do you got, Fab?
First of all, Darwin is linked to Napoli, which is
they don't have the script. Listen, that's.
I don't know how that's going to happen.
They don't have the Kobo.
Yeah,
I don't have the quid. They don't have the money.
I don't know.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening either. But do you know who else is linked to Napoli? I mentioned it last week. Is Sancho. Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho is linked to Napoli. He's linked to Juve, and he's linked to Fenerbahce. He was linked to Al Hilal earlier on, but
he'll go wherever he wants.
Yeah.
He has his club by the. He has but yeah, he's got them. He got them on him and Rashford both have them on serious P's on a weekly contract, and both of them, or at least Sancho, from what I understand, is category. He's just like, I'm not. It's a non-starter.
It's not gonna happen.
I'm not gonna play here.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna play here.
Yeah,
figure it out. Y'all figure it out.
Figure it out. It's not my fault.
Y'all problem.
Yep,
not a me problem.
Either pay me out or pay me now.
Yeah, just let
whatever.
me know. So
Yeah,
that I could see being done. Darwin to Napoli. I mean, I think I've heard rumors. I think Liverpool invested such a significant amount on his services,
yeah,
upwards of 100 million.
yep.
They're not. I mean, Michael Edwards is doing work this window. I'm terrified to see if they get Isak. I'm hoping that it's too long. Too much is,
Yeah,
that's not a transfer you just do overnight. That's
overnight.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
3 week, 4 week truncated transfer
You
where,
break in between the
yeah,
negotiations. Yeah,
Newcastle, like the party's like, I don't want to do this. And then you start talking money and then they're like, maybe,
maybe.
maybe, maybe. And then the player hears about it and then he's like,
Let me push
maybe.
for
I mean,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a whole kit and caboodle. And then on top of that, they have to identify a replacement in advance of that, and that replacement has to say yes. It's a lot of
Maybe
money.
they should just swap Darwin for.
you think? You think?
Hey, man.
Eddie Howe doesn't. I've heard. I don't really know. I know what I know, but what I have heard is Eddie Howe is very particular about the type of
Yep.
player
Fair.
that he allows
Fair.
into his team.
He's
He doesn't
and
like
he's earned that right.
Yeah, he doesn't like assholes, and he doesn't like divas, and he
You think Darwin is a diva?
is an elephant heavy.
Really?
I think he I mean, whilst being at a very successful club, I haven't seen him. I've seen him smile very few times. He's always has something to say about. He has like he's like a Garnacho type where he got the attitude of a player that you aren't. Like you
Hmm.
think you are. You think Blood thinks he's like Ronaldo when he's not. Like
I don't.
you're not like that
I
level.
didn't know that. I
He
didn't.
thinks
I didn't. He doesn't come across as somebody who has like a diva and attitude.
I just think he's openly unhappy at his club and the amount of appearances that and the amount of like in his output at his
Mm,
club. He's probably embarrassed and kind of like frustrated like everybody else is.
mm,
And that kind of maybe exhibits in how he acts out maybe when the camera's on him.
mm,
I know there's a couple of issues with like just his mentality and his personality at like during celebrations and whatnot.
mm. I
Just
didn't know that.
out of not being included as much in their success. But either way, they were looking to get him out for like 100 million to Saudi. That's what they want. They
Yeah.
want like a big money
Payout. Yeah.
payout. Um, One theory I heard, and I won't go too much into it, is it's terrifying. Okay, the theory is that I think Salah just extended his contract at Liverpool. I think it's a 3 year.
Is it? I think it's two.
Okay, so it's two.
Yeah.
So the thing is, with that 2 year deal, next year, I think he'll be 34, maybe 35. It's widely believed that he's the
Saudi.
next Saudi
Yeah.
crown jewel. Like,
So he's going to do what they
so
wanted Trent to do for them.
correct. So what's going to happen is Liverpool will likely acquire a striker this window. I don't know if they have the minerals to get Isak this window, but if they get Isak this window, just pay him, the money that they can afford to
Hmm.
pay him because they didn't sign anybody last season and they just won the Prem. They win the Prem this year. They go all out and then they get the money that they spent
From
this
Isak.
window
Yeah.
next. They get that from Saudi
Yeah.
next window, and they've probably won
Balanced
four,
out.
4 or 6 trophies while doing
Yeah.
it. That's terrifying to me. Um, but I think they're moving mad, and I also think I think they're at a impasse where they gotta sell. I said this 2 3 episodes ago. You
You have
gotta
to sell.
sell in order to
Yeah.
buy.
Who are you talking about? Man United? No, no.
No, I was talking about Liverpool.
Liverpool. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
With
Liverpool.
Verts
Yeah, I was talking
yeah,
about
yeah, Kirkus
because
and yeah.
we were when Liverpool was selling or when Liverpool was focused on that, we started in stepping up, ramping up talks with Ekitike,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different transfers that were kind of sharing or prospects that we were sharing or looking at. Both of us are looking at. So um, I think they have to sell probably before doing getting a big player, but I'm not gonna. They've really surprised me and humbled me. This window. This isn't the Liverpool I know.
This isn't. They're not signing Voronin and
Well, it's just
Moreno
they're
and
just not capping. They're getting there's windows in which they have priority targets and they get what they want.
yeah,
And the last time they did that, it didn't work, and that's Darwin.
yeah.
So I'm hoping there's a reason for that. Michael Edwards, their director of
I,
football, was
I've
not there.
never, I've never seen somebody hate watch transfers
Well,
before.
I don't hate watch transfers. It's just my club is the most transfer heavy club in
Yeah,
football. Would you agree?
yeah,
So when it comes to the business of football, there's nobody you'll meet who's more attuned to that. But what could have been the who's on whose books,
mm,
the near misses, the all that.
mm.
I hoover it up. I eat it.
You
I
digest it, yeah,
digest it, and
ingest
I
it.
like because it really I find it fascinating.
Mm,
Just the kind of the web of footy players and how the books kind of matter.
yeah,
So
I have one transfer for you, but before I do that, I would just list a couple things that I noticed this past week in
mm.
transfers. One, Thomas Partey looks like he's leaving on free, which is interesting, but Arsenal are also close to signing Norgard.
Where's Thomas Party going? Do they have lax laws there? Or?
They didn't. They didn't. I didn't even hear what you said.
Where's he going?
I don't
What
know.
country?
I don't know. I didn't even hear what
That
you
stuff
said.
matters.
Yeah, fair.
Ronaldo plays in Saudi
Yeah,
and not the MLS for
for
similar reasons.
reasons. Yeah, I don't know.
There's
But I don't think they agreed on a new contract, and so he's leaving on a free.
okay.
But they agreed. I guess they agreed a fee and personal terms with Norgard. So it looks like he's going to Arsenal. It's a
Hmm.
good player. I think good signing. Speaking of Arsenal, they also extended MLS. That was always going to happen. Miles Lewis Kelly.
I
He's
heard
not going anywhere.
Arsenal got Zubamendi. Is that true?
Yes, they're getting
Zubamendi.
Zubimendi as well. Cristiano is speaking of Cristiano. He's going to stay at Al Nassr. I didn't even know there was chances of him not staying. I'm like,
I
really?
mean,
He's not staying? But yeah, he's staying.
that's just money in the
Yeah,
bank.
yeah. Come on, he's pretty much the ambassador right
Yeah.
now. Luca looks more likely to go to Milan every week. I know we spoke about it maybe a couple of weeks ago. Now it's looking like that's going to happen. Uh, Pogba and Ansu Fati, something that we also said a couple of weeks ago. Looks like they're both Monaco bound.
Mm.
Excited to see Pogba back. The fact that Pogba will come back and will be playing Champions League is crazy.
It's funny to me
It's
that
crazy.
I mean, and this might be an off-color joke. We might need to edit this out.
Oh Jesus
But
Christ!
it's funny to me that Monaco, um, they're like the capital of, wealth. And you think of Switzerland, you think of Monaco, you think of like the Grand Caymans, you think of money laundering, right?
Hmm.
I think Monaco as a club, save Mbappe, they launder money through their players. I think that players go there and they do a job and they inflate the value of their players. I'm bitter.
I was
I'm
like,
bitter about
where are you
where
going
am I going with
with
this?
this?
Axel Disasi
Oh my god!
and one Benoit Badiashile.
I'm like,
I think
where are you
I think
going?
players that play at Monaco use it as a method or a manner, an avenue to either increase their value for the first time, or in the case of Paul Pogba for the second time. I think who's the other boy that you mentioned is at
Ansu
Monaco?
Fati.
Ansel Fati
Uh-huh.
has had that's a star that's fallen.
Mm-hmm.
We would agree there, and he's
You're about to
probably
get this podcast
you can
canned.
edit it, Sha. You can edit it if you want.
Oh,
It's not
jeez.
even that. Actually, I thought about it. It's not even that. It's not even that hot of a take. I
Yeah.
just think they're both using it as their agents might be using it. The visibility that you get Monaco, that's Champions League football, is it
Yeah.
not? You're playing in Europe,
Yeah.
okay? And Monaco, you're doing it in Ligue 1, which thins out considerably. Um, you know, it's very top heavy. Lyon just got relegated. So if I
Yeah, I
really
was
want to
going
know
to say that Leon just got relegated.
who are we really afraid of in I mean Strasbourg might be a contender next year,
Yeah,
and that's crazy. But Monaco, like I said, you get Champions League football, you get exposure, and you typically, if you do all right there, you can fashion a move for a lot more than you were worth the summer prior. So good luck to both of them. Um, Pogba's been through it all.
yeah,
You don't really. It's not often you see a player come out on the other side of a drug ban.
yeah.
So I don't have anything
Mudrik.
more to say. That yeah,
Anyway,
we'll see.
we'll
The
see.
thing about Misha is we signed him for it's a 7-year deal.
Yes,
And there's a loophole FC is what they call Chelsea, but
really.
there's a loophole in contracts and when it comes to drug positive players, if they get banned for longer than a period of 2 years, so if
Hmm.
it's 3 years or more,
Hmm.
we can cancel the contract. So
Oh,
um, if it's a 2-year ban, we're
I mean it's four.
yeah, yeah. So if it's a 4-year ban, yeah, it sucks, but we. You think we didn't? Yeah,
Business.
you don't think we dotted our T's
Yeah,
or
that's
dotted our
crazy.
I's, crossed our T's.
That's unfortunate.
There's plenty. Shakhtar Donetsk is gonna owe us money back. I'll tell you that right now. They're gonna owe us money back, and Misha's not. We're not gonna take that L for 7. It's not gonna be a 7-year L. Will
Yeah,
it be an L? Yeah, and we're gonna have to hold the L for a little bit, but it's there's it's not as big of
yeah,
a L as people are gonna say.
yeah.
And it's sad because
It's sad.
I like the lad, but it is what it is.
Well, it's funny had all that to say because now let me bring this to you as a riddle, and I feel like you're gonna get the answer.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Como Fabregas is the team. Fabregas is coach,
Mm-hmm.
and Fabregas, Henri, all these guys have
Mm-hmm.
investments in. Um, Speaking of Monaco and
Yeah,
whatever you said that may or may not make the episode,
yeah.
um, Como need a striker. Tell me who you think they're connected to right now. You need a striker. Monaco money laundering. We've mentioned it. I'll give you just one guess. They need a striker, and who do I always say? If you need a striker, just go get him,
Mm.
and he will come.
Who?
He used to play for Chelsea.
Alvaro Morata.
Of course.
This man he's not a player. He's an asset. He is an asset that's it's like he's like a stock. Like
You just
you
buy
just buy and
the dip.
yeah, you buy the dip.
You sell the
Yeah,
dip.
you take the L when you inevitably you
Yeah.
get caught holding it when it explodes. Wow. Good
Yep.
luck to him.
Good luck to hey, more
I
power to
think
him.
if I'm not mistaken, Alvaro Morata 2018 that was Conte sorry time. Cess might have been there.
As a player?
It might have been a season after, but Cess
Mm.
they might have
You can
played
look it up.
together. I could look it up. They
Um,
might have played together, to be honest. But I just wonder
but I
why
mean,
he.
they're both Spanish. They both play together for the Spanish
Yeah,
national
yeah,
team
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
There's definitely kinship there for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. But I thought that was interesting. I was like, of course, Alvaro Morata is going to another top flight European
He's
team.
been to Italy. He
Well,
spent so much
top
time in
flight league.
Italy.
Yeah. But anyway, that was a very long first half or first three quarter of the episode. Nelson's back.
Yeah, as you can tell.
Nelson's back.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that's Cesc and Alvaro
Yep.
Morata, and
So they did play
and
together.
yep, that's the I remember that season. That's the sorry season. Yep.
Mm.
Or excuse me, that's Conte season.
Conte season, yeah, because that's the you guys won the league the season before.
Yes. And this
That's
is the
with
season he did not get what he wanted. This is the
yes,
worst season. Or this is the year 3 Conte season. Yeah. I think.
yeah, two,
Year 2. Okay. Well,
yeah.
it's the season after the season where everything goes well.
Where it goes, yeah, yeah.
So
Because yeah, I remember the year before that was the Diego
First season,
Costa,
yeah.
Batshuayi, Victor Moses on the wing back.
On crack, on
Yeah,
smoke.
yeah. But well, we'll take a break and go into IQ deep dive. The game we're going to is the Inter Miami versus Palmeiras game. I thought that game was excellent and would highlight this guy's boy, Estavio,
Esteval
Esteval,
William. Remember the name.
Esteval William. Crazy
Remember the
ball. So
name.
we'll be right back. Give us a minute. Let me first ingest everything
What was that?
that. And welcome back to, uh, I guess the second one quarter of the show.
Part dose.
Yeah, a lot of stuff was said in that first half, or first three quarter.
I didn't even get to the game last night, so
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, the game last night was pretty straightforward.
no, it's not.
Yes, it was.
There's a full card of information.
Okay, you want to go?
I, I mean, we'll do it after
We'll
this.
do it after this. All right.
Just because, like, I think it's the end of the group stage games. We need to like kind of put a bow on all of
I was going to do
these.
that in
Okay.
upcoming fixtures.
But I need to talk about what we saw.
What you saw for Chelsea? Okay,
But
we'll see. Chelsea against Esperance de Tunis. The lap scoring. Um,
oh, you think you could just cliff note it? Let me hide my card shot. Tell me what happened.
What happened? Oh, I watched the game, by the way.
But with a good view.
Enzo was fantastic.
Okay.
You guys played a 4-4-2.
Mhm.
So like that's why the 4-4-2 with Nkunku roaming and Delap as a nine. I think that's another option because if Nico gets his act right, maybe him and Delap can do that. But I know you don't want to see him anymore.
Yeah.
Or Cole can do that as well. So
Nkunku
like,
should be. Did you hear that? We're talking to Menu about a swap between Nkunku and Garnacho.
yes, I did. I did see that.
But yeah. But
I
either
didn't know
way,
how serious it was.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
4-4-2. We're just trying to find a way to use Nkunku. This
Yeah.
game was obviously the last one in the group stages, so
Yeah.
clearly everybody in it, just rotation of squad members.
Yep.
But was really happy to see Andre Santos play for the first time. He kind of is one of those Brazilian phenomenons that we have coming into the squad. We're about to talk about another one, Esteban Willian.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really, really excited to see us rest some really key players. My bad.
Yeah.
Rest some key players and get some other players that needed some minutes. Get some minutes. Mark
The right back, the young boy.
Josh and Chedpong.
Yeah.
So the thing about our fullback situation, our left back is so light. We're so light. We got Mark Cucurella, who
Hey, get Chili back.
yeah,
Sorry.
no,
I didn't
no,
mean
no.
to-
Come on, be serious. Chile needs to go find himself a nice home somewhere that
The stakes are not high.
a good family. He needs to find a good family home. Josh and Chempong, and I mean we got Malagusto, I think, who played on the left.
Yes.
Chempong played on the right. Gusto is a good player, but in the system, he hasn't found his home. I love his attitude and his ability to just kind of do whatever is asked of him.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing it well, like it's kind of an issue.
Yeah.
I don't blame. It's kind of frustrating because we signed a lad last window by the name of Renato Vega.
Oh
You familiar with him?
yes.
So
Where is he?
Renato Vega was purchased.
Wait, isn't that attacker? No.
He's a left back. He's a left back for
Renato Vega.
yeah, and he can play.
I know that name.
He can play a little bit higher up. So Renato Vega was purchased. I believe he was purchased by Basel to replace Ricardo Calafiori. And we purchased. So excuse me. Yes, Basel purchased.
Basel in Switzerland.
Yes. So Ricardo Calafiori played at Basel, and then he was purchased by an Italian club. Who
Bologna? No.
Bologna.
There we go.
Yes. So they were purchased. He was purchased by Bologna, and then subsequently purchased by Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
The next after he came to to his peak. Basel bought Renato Vieira to replace Calafiori, and we bought instead. We were interested in Calafiori, but Arsenal beat us to Calafiori. So we were like, you know what? Let's just buy the guy who replaced him.
Replaced him.
Vieira's a player. He's already made the Portugal national team. He's getting minutes for the national team. We sent him out to Juventus on loan this past season. He liked it so much that he was like, "Yo, y'all need to like." He's like, "No disrespect, I love Chelsea and everything like that, but I need to be playing because the World Cup's coming up." And we were like, "Excuse you, you're 21. Like, we just got you here, bro. You were playing in the Swiss Alps last year. Like, how about a thank you?
How about it?
How
Thank you. Is
about a
crazy.
trust the process? You know, that type of thing." But he's kind of left us in an awkward position where he's asking to be sold so he can play and make the World Cup, but we're not really convinced that he's a prem level player yet.
Yeah.
So likely goes on loan or gets a permanent deal or like an option to buy. Juventus is trying to purchase him because they liked the way he played this past season, but
Hmm.
it's a Italian clubs don't have money
Yeah.
that need for the things that they want. So um, yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. I mean, Delap 2 goals and assists over 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, 2 goals? Just
two
1 goal.
goals or assists.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
two GA in 2 games
In three
total.
games.
Three. Okay, fine.
I'm like,
Sorry.
are you rewriting
I'm not
history?
rewriting history, Jordan. It's just there were 3 games and I was out of town. So two goals and assists thus far. He's where he. I mean, with the
Yeah.
exception of that one Flamengo game, he's doing okay.
No, no. I think when you guys were linked with him, I think we're talking about like I think you're asking my opinion about him. I told you like he's Vardy esque,
Yeah,
and he really is a stronger Vardy. Like
yeah,
he's aggressive in his runs. He's very decisive what he's trying to do. If he's trying to shoot, you can tell within one touch he's
yeah.
trying to shoot. He's trying to pass, and he has good passing. I think he's complete. I think his future
Just
is
needs a little
bright.
bit of sharpening, a little bit
Yeah,
of
just
straightening.
a little bit of straightening, and that I think wouldn't take a lot. I think that just comes with games.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a very very good player for you guys.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
congratulations, you have a
We
pretty
have a
good
we have
nine.
a prospect. He's wearing
Yeah.
the number 9, the cursed number 9 jersey.
Hmm.
But yeah, when I was at the game on Monday of last week, he came on, and then I watched him put somebody on the ground,
Yeah,
and
he's
I was like,
very.
I
He's a
go,
tank.
I go, I was like, I was like,
Oh.
like it was like not even that. It was an innocuous like you don't really need to hit me in the chest, bro. But
Yeah.
it hit him in the chest.
I
So
think the one that you got a card for.
yeah, mine did.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah. I
I was
remember
like,
that.
damn, dude. Like so him
I
and
remember
him
that.
and Mark Gui are both big men.
Yeah,
Mark Gui is like 6 feet plus. He's a
yeah,
big kid. So
yeah.
anyway, sorry.
Anyway, are you happy?
I mean, I've spoke my piece.
It's okay, a piece. All right, let's get into the Palmeiras Inter Miami game, and again, another game where your one of your prospect Esteval Willian.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
First of all, that kid is special, but um, Inter Miami they're playing 4-4-2 now because they have Sergio Busquets, Luis Suarez, and Leo Messi, who are towards
Old
the pretty old. They try and cover their their lack of
pace.
pace and stuff. So they set up as a 4-4-2, but what especially off the ball in the first half. This is number 7 be Adelaide. In the first half, Messi would just be coasting up here, just like when they don't have the ball. Then when they come alive, he can come in and receive the ball while he goes. Allende
Mhm.
goes out wide. So that's pretty much their whole game plan in the first half specifically. First of all, Sergio Busquets is still he's just not obviously young again, but in the earlier games that Inter Miami played, he's still a player, man.
I mean, yeah, Sergio Biscuits
He's
didn't
still
get
a player, man.
Biscuits didn't get hurt like Luis Suarez doesn't have any cartilage in his knees.
No.
Like that's the problem there.
Yes.
Biscuits is just he's lost a little bit of pace, but
Yeah.
I mean the brain is still
It's
there,
still there.
and he's still class is permanent.
Class is very, very permanent. And again, for the most part of the game, Palmeiras were like pretty much putting the pressure on Inter Miami. Inter Miami scored 2 goals off of breakaways because of again, the first goal was, I think it was off a corner or something, and again, same thing was happening. Messi was hanging out on the uh, outside right off the ball, and Allende was doing his running for him.
Mm-hmm.
But because of how committed um, Palmeiras were in their attack, and they are like all the games, they don't mess around. They are very aggressive going forward.
Yeah.
1v1 with his defender, and just lovely chest pass from Suarez for him to go through on goal. That same combination almost happened in the second half. In the second half, Messi was playing more central, um, and Allende was back on the wing where Suarez was off a throw-in and just one time did through to him and he missed it one-on-one. So he should have had
Mm.
2 goals from the two-man with Suarez, but he should have he probably regrets that finish.
Yeah.
But Suarez's goal. Suarez is such a kid. He's so annoying.
El Pistolero.
He like I don't know if you saw the second goal.
Mm.
He's typical Suarez where he'll dribble you, he'll hit you, hit him, hit your head, hit his shoulder, then you do it, and then you hit you,
Yeah.
hit like it just. I don't know how he does it, but
I mean,
I was talking to Shopsy, and Shopsy was saying like, yeah, he does that on purpose, and I believe that because he's done it so many times. Like this is ridiculous.
yeah. I mean, if you're causing it's called organized
Organized
chaos.
chaos, yeah.
If you're doing it, then it's organized. It doesn't look like, oh my god, what's going on? You know who else does that kind of like use of body and deflections? Kind of Diogo Jota, in my opinion.
Diogo Jota?
Yeah, in a
Yeah,
different way.
yes,
In a
yes,
different way. In a different
yes.
way.
Diogo, you're right.
Just kind of
Even Pedro Neto.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, that's
Pedro
another
Neto
one.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, we just like I don't understand how you're always able to control that chaos
And come on the
and come up on top of that.
exactly.
Like you weren't caught flat-footed or anything. I mean, obviously, in truth, it happens.
Yeah.
We're just glorifying the successful parts.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just happens. It feels like way too often.
Often.
Yeah, but for Palmeiras, like I was saying, they were very, very aggressive. Every time they work the ball wide most of the time. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for particularly more Esteval,
Yeah.
and they cross the ball a lot. Most of the time, they have at least 5 people in the box. Say the ball is coming from the left, Esteval comes in, the 8 hangs around like for the knockback or joins them in the box sometimes. The 10 and the 9, both of them in the box. Like even the other winger who's not crossing the ball, maybe he's a fullback. Every 4, like I counted like at least 3, 4, or 5 times, maybe more, where they're crossing the ball off the wing, and it looks like the whole team is in the opposition box. And it's I mean obviously they scored the second goal off of a cross, and that's why they have that many players in the box, because the second ball is always them.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I wasn't able to catch this game, I'll be completely candid and
Yeah.
honest, but I have watched quite a bit of Palmeiras highlights and Palmeiras, excuse me, football and highlights this past season, just because of Esteval. And what I noticed is they attack like
they attack like they attack
like you get on the pitch and the team that they're playing is automatically like, yo, let me tuck my chain.
I'm about to snatch my chain.
Yeah, I didn't know it was gonna be like this.
Yeah.
So like, they come at you hot.
Yeah.
And they got a good balance of like youth and they definitely want to highlight their what works for them,
yes.
which is at the front end of the pitch.
Yes. And I think they attack you on they can, based on the 3 games, right, that they've played, they can counter you very effectively. They can play 1v1. They'll find Esteval
Mhm.
or Facundo Torres, I believe his name is on the left, and they can play 1v1. Esteval can cut to his left, shoot, cut to his right, shoot. Esteval doesn't like he doesn't waste time.
No.
Like he's
Direct.
very very direct.
Mhm.
Left shoot, left cross, right cross. Like they're very 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 impressive to watch.
Mhm.
Ricardo Rios, I think his name is. I remember him from Copa America for Colombia. He plays on that team in the midfield. Very very good player. Their first goal. Another thing is they're 2-0 down, right? And there was no panic in their play.
Mm.
And I noticed that with a lot of the other South Americans, even when Flamengo was down against Chelsea, no panic. Boca Juniors against they lost the game, but
Yeah.
against Bayern, no panic. They just keep doing what they're doing. Uh, Palmeiras stuck to their principles. Even when they changed the formation towards the end of the game, when they're chasing the game, they pretty much played a 4-2-4 because they had to win the game, and that kind of like, and obviously Inter Miami, they subbed out Suarez at the time, so they had a lead to defend. But even when they switch formations, their principles of plays are still there, and they still execute. Find the ball through the wings. If we have 1v1 situations with our better wingers, take it. If it's with a fullback, load the box, cross the ball, and cause chaos. And they can counter you. They can. They're very good in the air, very good on the ground, very good techie players. Their first goal, I don't know if you saw the goals yet, but
Mhm.
this kid named Alan, that's
Mm.
another player
Mm.
that everybody should be watching. He's a young boy,
Mhm.
number 41. That's how young he is. He has a
Oh wow, he's got one
weird
of those.
number.
Yeah.
The assist for Paulinho,
Oh.
reverse pass. It was like Isco-esque against
Mm.
Chelsea.
Mhm.
He
He
wasn't
didn't
looking
look.
at him,
Wow.
and he wasn't doing like a no look thing. It wasn't like
Respect.
a purposely no look thing, but
Instinct.
instinct. He just knew that okay, this guy's gonna be there. Just
Mm.
reverse, just broke the whole defense
Mm.
and slotted it in, and the comeback was on. And but yeah, the fun team to watch, man. All of them have been fun. Botafogo, same thing. Even Boca, same thing. River Plate with who's playing right now against Inter Miami, same thing. But yeah, so fun game to watch, and I look forward to seeing more of both of these teams. Inter Miami with obviously Messi, wherever he goes, you want to watch, and against Palmeiras because of how they play. And for you, Esteval,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to update us real quick?
Inter Milan has scored. They just scored. It's 1-0 against River Plate.
Who scored?
Um, it's loading.
It's
Esposito.
probably
Who's his name?
Lautaro.
What's this real? Francesco Pio
I
Esposito.
have no idea who that is.
Yeah.
But anyway, um, to and come to an end of the episode, which is talk about the IQ finish of the week. Now, you didn't watch a lot because you've been traveling.
Yeah, I can't really. Can't really.
I'll
Let me
give
see what
you
you got here.
I'll give you honorable mentions. Right, Adagula's goal against Pachuca because of how the work, the build up to the goal.
Because of the PR. No,
No,
I'm
the
just
build
kidding.
up of the
No, it
goal
was
is
a beautiful
nice.
goal. It was a
Beautiful
beautiful goal.
goal.
It was a beautiful goal.
Mohammed Ali Ben Rom. I can't. I'm gonna mess his name up, but he's the striker for Al Ali.
Mm-hmm.
He scored a hat trick.
Oh damn.
His um his first goal, I think. No, this is not the guy that scored a hat trick. It was the 4-4 game against Porto.
Okay.
The guy that scored a hat trick is Wessam Abu Ali.
Mm.
This is Muhammad Ali Ben Romdan, I
Ramdan.
think to say his name right. He scored a nice little curler. So I was like, okay, this is a contender for sure. Arias, I think his name is John Arias. He's Colombian. Plays for Fluminense against Olsen Hyundai. He's got a nice little free kick to start their comeback. Oh, actually, no. I think he scored that goal to take the lead.
No relation to the car.
No, I don't know if it's a relation to the car.
Yeah, Lazio signed a winger by the name of Mussolini. Relation.
Relation?
Yeah, he's related to Benito. But that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please let's do another episode on why why that is
It's pretty
big.
nuts.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's pretty nuts. But